What's up, y'all? Welcome back. A Fitness Live portion every Sunday, 6 a.m. Today, we're talking about the number one absolute best intensifying technique you can use to make gains to get huge, whatever you want to call it. But first,
updates. All right, I'm officially 11 weeks out from my show, the Northern USA. It's an NPC show. Had a good week. I'm down about 2.5 pounds this week, so I'll take it. As every week, everything's getting leaner, tighter, just the way you would want during a cut. So yes. In terms of our other athletes, we have a couple shows coming up for them. One, David Shirk, he's about 2 weeks out from his first national show. He's going to the North American.
Yes, sir.
Yes, representing that 50-plus class. Get it. Can't wait to see how he does. After that, we have one of my clients, Tiana. She's going to the OCB Yorkton Cup. That is like the pinnacle for OCB. So I'm really excited. It's her pro debut in wellness. So can't wait to see you up there, Tiana. I know you're going to do great things. And then later this fall, we've got Miguel. He's about 9 weeks out. And then myself, 11 weeks. And we'll cover more about that as we get closer to it. But those are updates for now.
All right. So what are intensifying techniques?
That is a very good question. So when you've been working out for a while, there's this tendency to plateau and you need to add either more variation, more stimulus. You need to up the ante for your workout to continue getting the gains. And so you can add different techniques or do different principles to make that workout more intense, make those exercises more intense for you. So that's what we're talking about when we say intensifying techniques.
Not only does it intensify your workouts, but it makes them funner and more exciting. 3 sets of 10 gets real stale after a while.
That's true.
5 sets of 5, whatever you're doing, if you're not sprinkling in some intensifying techniques, the workouts get pretty stale pretty quick.
Absolutely. So you're probably wondering, well, when should I use these intensifying techniques? Is it all the time, certain times? So what do you think about that? You
should use them. Definitely not all the time. They will tax your body and lead you overtrain.
Yes.
If you don't rest and recover. These are just what they're called, intensifying techniques. They will intensify your workout more than what you're used to. So they are going to tax your body. So I definitely wouldn't do them all the time. A couple times a week max.
Absolutely. Yeah. And definitely if you're a beginner lifter, I don't think you have a need at this point, in your training to use any type of intensifying techniques. But as James, mentioned, if you've been doing your sets of 10 to 12 for a while, you're not seeing a whole lot of growth, you're stagnant, then this is when you add them. And you may not need them all the time. Like if it's just to push past a plateau, work them again, get past that plateau and then work up to it again and then add them back in. I mean, remember when we're trying to build muscle, there's 3 main principles, right? We need to fatigue the muscle, well, cause stress, first of all, fatigue the muscle and then create damage. So those intensifying techniques are geared towards the create damage part. And so that's why it's pushing you past your plateau, because it's forcing you to grow new muscle fibers.
Right on.
All right. So number one question, what is the number one intensifying technique? And James and I are, of course, going to have differing opinions. I already know it.
Should we rattle off a few before we say which one's the best?
Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead. So what are some intensifying techniques that you can do? One of the ones that I really like is just rest pause technique. So rest pause is when you do like a handful of reps, you're fatigued, so you take like a 10, 15 second break, and then you keep banging out those reps. So it's basically the continuation of your set. And so you can do it different ways. I've seen people do like one all out maximum strength rep and then rest and then hit it again. Or you could do it, like I said before, where you crank out, that 6 to 12 rep range, take a break, hit it again. Now, what's great about rest pause, if you're short on time or you just don't want to spend, 7 sets worth of whatever in the gym, it's a great one because you can bang out a whole lot of stimulus in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I like it.
I'm going to chime in here. There's two different ways that she mentioned. One is super, super intense.
Yes.
The other one, not so much. Now, you max your load the weight up to your max or very close to your max. Mm-hmm. You hit 1 rep, boom, rack it, rest 10 seconds. 1 rep, boom, rack it, 10 seconds. You are max pushing your max weight for 1 rep. And it is extremely, extremely intense. And I wouldn't recommend it without a spotter.
Yeah, to me, that almost like starts to border on like strength training. Like you really are like plateaued in your bench press and you're trying to get past the sticking point.
Yep.
I think that 1 rep max and then the rest would be perfect for that.
Yeah. But extending your set and just resting and pausing to doing 3 extra after you've done 10 reps. I mean, it's intense, but it's not nowhere near as intense as loading up your max weight and going like that.
Now, I do like the way I was describing, especially for lower body, just because you can extend your set. You can really, you have a lot more slow twitch muscle fibers in the lower body just in general. And so, it takes a lot to exhaust them. So by doing that rest pause in that way, I think you can really stimulate those fibers and get them to grow.
Sure.
Yeah. In terms of other ones, hey, there's the classic superset.
Superset.
88 loves supersets, by the way.
So again, supersets are not that intense, so you can do them more often. And believe me, it breaks the workout up, makes it more exciting. Like I said, straight sets of 10 are going to get stale. Throw supersets in there. It makes it a lot more fun, a lot more exciting. Pre-exhaust, post-exhaust. Use your imagination. You could do
absolutely
same muscle, different muscles, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, the problem with supersets, I think they're so commonplace that they're just no longer an intensifying technique. Anything that you're going to go out and do every day, it's probably not causing that stress, fatigue, or damage anymore because of how often you do it. So if you're doing that, maybe switch it up or try one of these other intensifying techniques that we've been talking about.
And again, you can do this one more often than the rest.
Yeah. I think supersets are very similar to the concepts of giant sets or doing like a pyramid set. You're basically just stringing exercises together, doing more volume at one time, basically.
Correct. So giant set, you're going to do 5 exercises for your biceps all in a row with no break. And then repeat.
Absolutely.
And then repeat.
Yeah, pyramid set's kind of similar. You're kind of climbing up in weight, dropping your reps, and then you kind of reverse it back down. And we have some really great videos on all of these, by the way.
Yep, check out our Intensifying Technique playlist.
Definitely. All right, drop sets.
Drop sets.
Drop sets are great. Basically you hit your 6 to 12 reps, whatever it may be, and then you're going to lighten the weight and you're going to keep going. Now there's a lot of controversy actually on how many times do you do the drop set
and when to drop.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
If you want to be intense, you go to failure before you drop the weight. If you just repping 10, dropping the weight 10, dropping the weight 10,
right,
decent. But if you're going to failure, dropping the weight, going to failure, dropping the weight, going to failure, it's a lot more intense. You're going to get a lot more gains.
Absolutely.
A lot of times I don't even count reps when I'm doing drop set because once I fail on the first one, it's usually only 3 or 4 reps to fail on the next one.
Now I'll have to say in there, like, make sure you're still hitting that 6 to 12 if your goal is to build muscle. You don't want to go out in your first set and it's like 3 reps, 1 rep, and then you're like, drop. No, take a break, start over. You obviously picked a weight that's too heavy. I think, similar to that, once you get beyond 2, 3, maybe 4 drops, it's just that's good. Anything beyond that and it's junk volume.
Correct.
Think about a seasoned bodybuilder doing a drop set on bicep curls and going all the way down to 5 pounds when they start at like 50. There's just no point to that. If anything, you're going to take it so far that you're beyond damage. You've created the bad kind of trauma, or it's just junk volume at that point.
Junk volume.
Yeah.
You don't want any junk volume. We're not here to waste time.
Exactly. There's other things you can do. Sandwich sets. James likes those. So,
negatives.
Yep. Negatives. And then forced reps.
So I'm going to talk about negatives real quick. There's two different ways to do negatives as well.
Mm-hmm.
First one, not so intense. You get your rep range, you hit failure, and then you do a couple more, bringing it down super slow and getting help with it up.
Right.
Right. The other way to do it is to load the weight up more than what you can do.
Right.
So, for example, if you can bench 315 for one, you're going to put 325, 335 on the bar, bring it down slow, and then have your partner help you press it back up for a couple of reps. That is super, super intense.
Absolutely.
It's going to wake your nervous system up to the heavier weight. And again, it's a strength technique. You want to build your bench press up, put a heavier weight on there, let your body get used to that heavier weight.
Yep, absolutely. And then it's kind of similar to that would be forced reps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is where, like, you know, it's really beneficial with the partner. They can apply more tension.
You have to have a partner.
Yeah, they can provide more attention to the rep. A lot of times there's a portion within the range of motion for an exercise where you're really not getting anything out of it. And it's really great because that partner can apply tension to that part of the range of motion, which is really helpful for getting past sticking points in your lips and things.
So forced reps is when you hit failure, let's say on leg extension, you know, you hit failure, you can't get that rep up, your partner's standing right here and they're going to assist you for about 3 or 4 more reps. So you're actually going beyond failure, beyond what you're physically capable of doing. And that's going to hit you with forced reps.
The other way you can kind of do forced reps is maybe on those last couple of reps, your partner can actually push down and you can try to fight it. But if you've actually gone to failure, you probably don't need that. So maybe it's a good one if you've kind of hit your rep range, but you're not exhausted. Say, hey, buddy, come here and apply some pressure real quick. I don't have time to like pull the pin or pull the plates and switch them out. So just great techniques overall.
All right.
All right. So this brings me to what is the number one?
Number one. There can only be one.
Oh, man.
We have to choose one.
I already know James is going to disagree with me, but my favorite one, number one for muscle growth is eccentrics or negative reps. And I picked this one because not everyone has a partner. And so maybe my number one differs if you have a partner, but for me, it's eccentric training. So negative reps, kind of like we were talking about.
So negatives is your number one?
Number one. Yep. My number one is negatives. And so I think you can really create a large amount of damage with the negative reps. I mean, especially if you're lifting, heavy negatives, you know, so maybe you're at about 110% of your 1 rep max and you're hitting that negative. I think that's really where the money is at. I think incorporating longer tempos while you're doing the negative reps important. Yeah. So, you know, you raise the weight, but when you're doing that lowering part of, say, a bicep curl, take 4 to 8 seconds to lower. I mean, that's really going to create that damage in that muscle tissue for you. And besides, you're significantly stronger in the negative portion of the rep. And that's why you can do 110%. So that's my number one for the average person at the gym trying to build muscle, create damage.
Very good. Negatives for me is a very close second. Very close. They are, like she said, very nasty. Gonna get your gains, gonna go beyond what you can physically do because you're doing more weight than you can do. Positive, you can pick it, you can't pick it up, but you can lower it. That is a nasty, nasty technique, and you will get some serious gains from that. However, my number one is forced reps.
Yeah.
You're taking your body, you're extending the set beyond failure, beyond what you're capable of doing. So you're doing, like she said about the negatives, 110%. You're not just doing 100%. You're going past 100%. Unfortunately, both these techniques require a partner.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a partner, I'd get one if you're going to do these.
Absolutely. I agree with James. Like I said, I picked negatives just because of the partner aspect. You may not always have those, but if you're incorporating negatives and force reps into your training program, man, you're going to see some massive growth. That's for sure.
And they're very close in techniques, really. You need a partner to help you with the positive and to help you extend your sets.
Absolutely.
They're very, very similar.
Yeah. All right. So how should you work these into your workout? What's the best time? How do you approach that?
I would do them at the end of the workout, because once you do them, you're done.
Yeah.
Trust that. If you do it right, you're going to go home after you do your forced reps or your negatives, because you got nothing left to give, nothing left in the tank if you do it correct.
Absolutely. Yeah. With my clients, we'll do all of our working sets. And then at the last set, that last like 3-4 reps or whatever it may be, that's when I incorporate this in. And not every exercise. I mean, that's the one thing I think you're just taxing your nervous system a little too much and creating not good kind of damage at that point, which kind of defeats the whole purpose, right? So if you do this so often that you're creating literal trauma to your body, you can't go back and work out, in a couple of days. And so that defeats the whole purpose. So got to be strategic on where you place these in there, for sure.
Especially if you're a beginner and you've never done them. I mean, they're gonna hurt. They're gonna create some damage. You're gonna feel it. Let your body heal. Let your body recover after you do these techniques.
Yeah, and then if you're working them in too early into your set, I mean, if your goal is hypertrophy, you want to be in that 6 to 12 rep range. So, I mean, you need to work the prime mover. Just doing like one forced rep and walking away is probably not enough stimulus for you. So consider that too. But again, anytime you're stuck, training plateau, I know for myself, like I'll try to work these in. I'll get to a point in my bench press where, hey, I can't lift any more weight. So that's when I'll start focusing more on these forced reps to try to build the strength up to get past that point. So definitely not all the time, not every exercise, for sure.
Indeed.
All right. So where can they find more information out about intensifying techniques, James?
Our playlist, YouTube playlist, Intensifying Technique playlist. Check them out. If you have any questions on any of the intensifying techniques we talked about, supersets, drop sets, rest pause, pyramids.
They're all in there.
There's sandwich sets, negatives. They're all in that playlist.
There's about 13 videos in total. And if there's something that we didn't cover that you guys want to see, definitely drop us a line and ask for it. We'll get that right out to you.
Absolutely. If you have a new intensifying technique, I'd love to try it.
Absolutely.
If there's a new one out there, I'd love to try it. Leave us a comment if you know of one.
Yeah. Also, and I want to remind everyone about super thanks and super chats. If you're loving what you see, there's definitely a button where you can click that. It'll give you access to like very distinct and colorful, customizable comments. And it'll also pin your comment in the live chat. So that's pretty exciting. And all of that goes to helping us continue to provide you awesome content that you love. So we would greatly appreciate it. All right. Anything else on intensifying techniques?
I don't think so.
All right.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we're here for you. If you have a video you want to see, just leave a comment and we'll get to it.
Bye.